Welcome in to the 15th edition of Not My Scene. My name is Taylor from K-Way. That's Matt from K-Way. If you're just joining us, we exchange a song. I give Matt a song from my scene, he gives me one from his scene, if you will, and then we review those songs, and we tell you what we think about them. By the way, we'll be able to find the videos to the songs that we talk about today down in the description, and you can go watch them before or after or during or however you want to do it while you're watching this particular video. Anything else I need to say, Matthew?
No.
Okay. All right. How do you want to do this?
You set me up first.
I'll set you up first. Yeah. Okay.
Get the good part out of the way.
The song that I gave to Matt is from one of my favorite bands. I love them. They're called Emery. They are a band that, even within the scene, is pretty underappreciated in my opinion. They're bigger in the scene, but they're not one of the heavy hitters necessarily. Nothing along those lines. They are, I think, maybe early on in their career, they were a Christian band, but they're much more of a band of Christian guys. And sometimes that's part of their music, and sometimes that's not part of their music. And they've put out a bunch of albums. They just put out an album, in fact. And actually, my initial intention was to give you a song off that new album, but they did it kind of in a weird way. They released it kind of on YouTube only. The way that they recorded the album is they just got together in the room, and they just played through it, and there's a great video of the whole thing, and it's really interesting, intriguing to watch how it went down. But they've kind of they've made it so there's not like there aren't even like fan videos of any of those songs. Or there's a couple they've put a couple of singles out. Neither of them was one of the songs that I wanted to give you.
I like the fan videos because you find out who can't spell.
That's right. And so you didn't get one of those. Perhaps in the future you will. What I've decided to give you then is a song from one of their earlier albums. I think it's their second album. The album's called The Question. The song that I have given you is Returning the Smile That You Had from the Start, something along those lines. It's one of those. This was back in the time when there were long titles.
The Fall Out Boy long title era. Yeah. Right. So right off the bat, hate the Scream intro. Okay, you know how I feel about it. It's documented. I don't need to say anymore. The singing though was nice after. I was like, oh, that makes it pretty.
Yeah.
But he's got really good vocals. Yeah. His vocals are. He's got a great singing voice. I mean, just a really well sung song. The simple, pleasant melody at the beginning, the intensity and the interesting drum during the build. So there's like a build up, and it kind of changes its rhythm a little bit. And the build up drum wise was really neat. It's not like overtly there. Maybe you kind of listen a little bit, but it was really good. Really good way to fill and build that. It was a great build prior to the breakdown, if you will. Tempo and style change kind of there. The string and distorted guitars to the end I thought was good. I thought it was a good song. It was a good song. I don't like the scream, but that's well documented. I don't like the screaming.
It is, yeah.
Take that away, and it's a song I could easily listen to, but it's just such a turnoff when they scream at the very beginning. Lyrics are either about a breakup or an actual death. I think it's about an actual death. I think it's about the pain being worth the experience of knowing someone and having a relationship with them. I mean, wrote your memory in ink and wouldn't erase even because of the tragedy. It's like just this, you have this pain of losing someone, and maybe it's breakup, but I don't think it is. I think it's more serious and less defined to just, a guy and a girl relationship. It seemed like more open-ended to any relationship where you have that pain at the end of it through death or moving or whatever, but just that shared thing. I think we all can relate to that. Even with the pain of that, it was worth having the relationship in your life. And I like the song. And again, his vocals are really, really good.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, I think the lyrics are really clever, especially for the scene. I think they're more clever than maybe you would expect.
They were deep. I know, the lead singer, I believe, did like a a side project where he just recorded like songs based on the Book of Psalms, and you could tell there was a lot of that deep poetry in it, yet clever. I thought they were lyrically much better than most songs.
Yeah. And the makeup of Emery is pretty interesting to me. I don't know that I know of any other bands that have really done this. They have two singers basically that share singing and bass requirements, I suppose. So when one sings, the other plays bass. That's basically how it works out. The one sings a little bit more. The lead singer on this particular song sings a little bit more than the other guy. But I think they both have very good vocals, and they also have a screamer. Josh Head is his name. He does keys and other things when he's not screaming. But yeah, they're just
it's a good song.
Yeah, and they have their songs, their music sort of throughout is. I think they are. Obviously, if you like heavier music like I do, I think you're probably going to like them a little bit more. But even if you don't, I think they have some music within their catalog, if you will, that I think you'll enjoy. I think it's just
more really melodic than some of the stuff that you gave me. They actually have a good melody in there. So yeah, I like them. Now the song I gave you,
not at all like the song that I gave you.
It's not at all like that. No, it is. It's early hip hop. Black Sheep. The choice is yours. And I'm not a huge hip hop guy, but I like this one, and it reminds me of when I used to tease the man upstairs who lives above the station.
That's right.
And we'd say, you can get with this, or you can get with that. And it would drive him insane, so I listened to it a lot when I used to live with him, so it grew on me, and I enjoy it.
Okay, yeah.
That's it.
Black Sheep, the choice is yours. Just as Matt said, it's an early 90s rap song. It's a pretty familiar song. I have heard it. I'm familiar with it. You listeners, or you watchers, viewers, whatever you're called, you very likely have heard it, whether you knew that you had heard it or not. In fact, VH1 picked it as their 73rd best rap song.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's as far as rap music goes, it's about as clean as it gets. There is one little part that for you is a bit risque, but other than that, it's pretty darn clean, and so you shouldn't feel too worried about listening to it if you have kids. It's very 90s rap, and I'm not a big rap fan. I should point that out. And the rap that I am interested in, that I do listen to, is in the 2000s, and I find it a lot more interesting than this. I find it to be much more primitive. It legitimately is. Like, this was at the very beginnings of the genre almost. And even by the end of the 90s, I think that rap was a lot more interesting.
Yeah, you can't compare Black Sheep with like 1998 Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
It's completely.
Yeah. And I think in this particular song, the verses are too long for me. I sort of get lost in it. And the hook is obviously very good, very memorable. And the first verse is by one of the guys. Does he go by Drez? I don't even know what he goes by. DRES.
I'm
Drez
not
or
a
Dre.
big
I don't
fan
know.
of Black Sheep. I just like the song.
He introduces himself and Black Sheep and sort of sets up presenting that point of view, this or that. And I think that's good. I think that verse is pretty good. The other two, I guess I should say, are not great in my mind. As I mentioned, they're just sort of long and not great. The best line for me is actually is a line from Roger Miller's song called Engine Number 9.
Yeah.
If you if you're into the book You or the series You probably heard that line as well. It's used in there. It's a very early, very primitive, elementary compared to newer rap music, and it's okay. I just find it's very, I don't know what the word is necessarily. I guess what I put down here, elementary and primitive and basic compared to, it's uninteresting to me, honestly. The hook is good.
Yeah, it's
the hook
fun
is good,
song.
and it's useful in certain situations, and you will still to this day continue to hear it.
I believe there was those
things.
gerbil commercials with the Kia. I think they used it.
That's right.
6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and probably if you are more into rap music, and if you are into the history of rap music, this song probably is a little more interesting to you. It's not to me.
It's not in my scene.
No,
se.
it's not.
It's just fun.
It's outside of your scene.
My
It's
scene's
probably outside.
potpourri.
Yeah.
I have a little of this.
It
little
smells,
of that.
it smells nice, though.
I get with this, I get with that.
I actually, so we're filming this, less than a week after the Super Bowl, where the halftime show was a bunch of rap people, and was very popular, and so with that, and the aftermath of that, and with you giving me this song, I've been listening to quite a bit more rap than normal, and thinking about some of the rap songs that I like that perhaps I could give to you, but they're all way too dirty and way too raunchy. I don't want to do that
No
to
thanks.
you.
No thanks. I'm okay. I'm okay with the clean
So-
record. I'll give you DC talk
Yeah.
in response.
That's good. So I probably won't give you a rap song
good.
in the future.
By the way, you had a
won't
0
enjoy it.
earmuffs rating on your song today.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually
That's true.
it's not my scene obscene version.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, actually, in the shower of all places, and I think there's only been a couple prior to this that didn't have the For Today song that I gave you.
Paramore.
And Paramore. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
That's the only ones that didn't have.
Yeah,
A bomb.
it's. I forget that some of them are in there. Like, I'll listen back to it. Oh,
You're a
yeah,
dirty
they cuss.
person.
They cuss in there. They cuss in that one. And so, like, earlier on, I remember sort of back a ways, like, for some reason, we were talking about one of the songs that I gave you in this process in Werewolf, and you were considering playing it, and I was like, yeah, it should be fine, and then I looked at the lyrics like, nope, don't play that over the ear. We can't play that one over the ear.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah,
so that's that.
I think this is the dirtiest song I've given you. I think it used
Yeah.
the A word.
It talked about females in a way that they probably don't want to be talked about a whole lot.
I was thinking, not my
But-
thing. I like the hook. Like
Yeah,
most white
yeah.
rap fans,
That's
I
right.
like
You
the
like the
hook.
hook.
I came for the chorus.
This particular song is one that now, like, white dads might come up with. I can see this song being
Walker
written
Hayes
by.
has a version of it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. All
We
right.
don't punch women. We don't punch clocks, and just that's what I like about the early '90s. Is they're just stupidly punny lyrics that find their way in there.
Yeah.
And I like that sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
My
That's
words
good.
are flowing like a bottle of Drano. Things like that come up. This is a line to a real song I like. So,
All right. Well, do you have any thoughts on what you might do next week?
you said you've never heard. You don't know much Boston. I was thinking about giving you a
No.
Boston song.
I have heard some Boston, and
I
so I might
listened to
hear
their
this song.
entire debut album.
2
days ago, and I was like, "This is so good." So
They're I don't enjoy Boston. I don't hate
I'll give
Boston.
it to you.
Boston's fine. I'll listen to Boston. I'll tell you what I think of them. I'm not sure what I'm gonna give you.
Okay.
There's a song that I'm considering. I mean, I might have to time it up. So you may or may not get it. May or may not get it next week. You'll understand once it's given to you. So yeah.